All right, we have arrived in sunny San Diego for SDHistCon. This is the first time I've been to this event. There's a lot of folks here, not right now because it's lunchtime, but it is Friday afternoon. I'm gonna do a quick walk around of the gaming space and show you everything that's happening in this main room. There's some different levels. We're at an interesting venue. It's kind of a labyrinth, but we got a lot of designers here, demos happening, a lot of prototypes. It's a really cool environment, very chill. So let's go take a look. All right, welcome to the San Diego Jewish Center. This is where San Diego Histcon is happening. The guys from Revolution are here again. Here is A Greater Victory set up from Blind Swords, doing some play tests. This is looks like a new game from Revolution they were telling me about. This is Stalingrad, Advance to the Volga. It's a solitaire area movement game. They're gonna give me a demo of this and check it out, but it looks pretty cool. I like the map. You can see the city and all the markers on it. We'll come and check this out a little bit later. It looks like there's maybe terrain in the different areas, units, support units, but it is a solitaire game, which is pretty interesting. Trevor is here with Battle for Kursk. How are you doing?
Doing
Hello,
well,
sir.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Please film away.
Yeah. I brought this game to the weekend at the warehouse. The C3I version, the magazine version. I didn't get a chance to play it, but I'm super excited. I saw the North Africa one that you've got. Yeah, there it is. People saw this in the GMT video as well. Yeah. Awesome. I'll come by and take some footage of that. Sweet. Same system, right?
It's very similar, although of course different scales. It goes down to brigade level. While this is core and all.
Okay.
But the rulebook just came out today. This is,
hey.
This is my printout from the paper copy, but you can see it has great examples of play from Vassal that we created, make it easier for players to understand.
That's awesome. This is, it's basically finished, the rulebook?
Yeah, it goes final on Monday. The maps and counters are already final.
Awesome. So Desert Victory be arriving soonish?
Yeah, soonish. C3I number 36, which is slated for late December.
Okay.
Probably January, February with supply chain. So
awesome.
But it's a 2022 game.
Awesome. Well, congrats on that.
You.
I'm looking forward to picking that up.
Yeah, thank you.
C3I, we got the deluxe version. Here's the Battle for Kursk deluxe version, boxed. They've been doing that. I actually brought Waterloo campaign with me this weekend. I'm gonna try and get it played with my friend Gettysburg as well. I believe these come with mounted maps. It feels like they do. That's exciting. That game happening over here.
It had a little bit of a NIM vibe, right?
Streetcar. This is a prototype?
It is a copy through Game Crafter.
Okay.
It's called Streetcar Suburb. So, yeah, great game. It's by
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Streetcar Suburb.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Anytime I see people using markers on the board, I get excited.
It's a super fun, quick game, but basically the game is it was developed like without a theme in mind.
Oh, you can't.
It works perfectly, and it's about like housing contracts in the suburbs.
It'll be
So you know how suburbs have like really terrible like laws that govern like you can't build here, you can't have convenient transportation here or anything. But basically, you draw 2 lines, you take a housing contract, a disc off the board, and then if you're touching 3 contracts exactly, you place a building. In end game, you take any of the buildings that you have on those lines and you multiply that by your investments.
Okay.
That's it. Super simple.
So you're almost like desuburbanizing the city?
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's a super slick game, super easy to play.
Huh.
I can't remember any.
I'm really excited about it, so that's why I wanted to demo.
This seems to be super in Joe's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Joe is all about that minimal, like very pure gaming experience. So seeing him playing this is not surprising. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like King is Dead a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. Or what's the new one that came out that's like King is Dead in the bag? That's like, you know what I'm talking about? It comes in like the board is the bag and it holds like the little
Turncoats.
Turncoats.
Oh yeah, I brought that as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Man, that spread like a wildfire.
Over here we got 2 tables for Levy and Campaign. This is a prototype for Epipolae. The subtitle to this one is The Athenian Sicilian Expedition 415 BC to 413 BC. This is by Jason W. He is a Levy and Campaign designer. This is taking the system to ancient Greece. There's Alcibiades. I'm looking forward to checking this out later. It's a smaller footprint game, but he's got some interesting ideas. There's naval units in it, naval combat. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. We got Seljuk here. We've been talking about that all morning with folks. You know that. You've seen that. Joe, who's over there playing Streetcar Suburbs, he's brought Henry. Here's his playtest copy here. I'm excited to get this played as well. Last time I played this is over a year ago, and a lot has changed from my understanding in the design, but it's looking really good. I love the map on this one. Got a game over here about Afghanistan from Dan Bullock, the designer of the Iran game, 1979. Blood and Treasure, I believe the game is called. A game about the U.S.-Afghan war and those that would profit from it. So it's he describes it as a bit of a Euro with Afghan, like sort of a military theme, but I guess it's all about military contracting, about the war in Afghanistan from the perspective of U.S. political and corporate interests. I'm very interested. He says it's pretty accessible from a gameplay perspective, and so it's really interesting. What else? That's the Revolution, guys. We got some Flashpoint South China Sea going on. Here's all the door prizes. So they're going to do like a raffle. So when you check in, you get a ticket. Put the ticket in a jar to get it. These look like they are silent auction items, which is pretty cool. The Dogs of War from Thin Red Line. John Company 2nd edition. And the metal coins. Very nice. Here's the raffle games. We got Fire in the Lake. Ooh, a copy of 300 from Nuts. That's awesome. Wars of Religion. That's pretty interesting to me. Got Trench War over here. Imperial Struggle. Fort Sumter. Oh, let's get lots of GMT stuff. Shores of Tripoli. There's a copy of Almoravid. A copy of Fitna from Nuts. There was a game of Pericles happening over here that Mark Herman was helping people through, but they finished up. Here's the check-in. Is this the Roll and Write Twilight Imperium game?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been wanting to play this. I hear it's so good.
So far, this is my first time into it. It's pretty
Okay,
good.
kid.
It looks,
Right? Card,
Yes.
please.
looks awesome.
Not a water.
Now, don't yell at the dealer just because I'm flipping the cards that have nothing to do with the order.
God darn it, Ken.
Production!
Okay.
Everybody gets trade goods if you've earned any. That's 2 for me.
Twilight Inscription is the game. That looks really good. Here we have a playtest of Inferno, a final production copy of Inferno. It looks like. There it is. Looks gorgeous on the table. Sorry, I'm just taking some footage. Don't let me stop you.
Sure. No, we're actually we're completed the toy and we're at a pause point.
You produce it in China?
Correct. Yeah. Produced in China and shipped across the ocean. Unloaded at Oakland to the GMT warehouse to you.
Looking great. Looking great. Final production copy. Love the artwork that Robert Altbauer did on this. Here's a look at the player aid.
You could get things from pretty much anywhere in Asia and put them on the
Guelphs and Ghibellines by for Tuscany.
Yeah.
9 days for
Got a game of Atlantic Chase going over here. And we have this gigantic Liberty or Death game with painted minis. Look at how amazing this looks. I mean, even the forts, the 3D fort, the giant support cubes. There's the Native Americans in Washington and New York. Look at how amazing this giant Liberty or Death game is pimped out. Here's some French soldiers. So cool. Is that Marquis de Lafayette or Admiral? No, it's the Admiral, French Admiral. I forget his name right now. This is so cool. Never seen a game of coin this large or this extravagant, but I guess this is kind of a thing that happens here at SDHistCon. Looks very amazing on the table. All right, we're gonna. Oh, actually, one more table to show you. So we got some copies of Nicaea, from Hollenspiel, from games from Compass. Not sure if they're gonna be playing those. Here is Bear Trap again. Saw this at GMT. Looks like they're doing some play testing of this. I'm very curious about this game. I got a nice lowdown on the flight home from GMT from the designer who was on my flight. And here's the pre-production copy of Twilight Struggle Red Sea. That's gonna get played at some point as well. So we'll take some more footage, do another walk around later. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm starving, and we'll be back with more from SDHistCon in sunny San Diego. Just finished my first game of Flashpoint South China Sea. It's a really interesting game. Obviously, the Twilight Struggle influence is very noticeable. It looks, when I see this board, it looks very simple, and like I have so many games that are about placing influence that I was like, well, what makes Flashpoint South China Sea so interesting and so special? And I think some of the stuff here, I think mainly being able to play, so unlike Twilight Struggle where your opponent's events trigger when you play the card, you get to decide based on what's on the top of the discard pile if that event's going to trigger if you have a matching icon is a really interesting strategic decision that you have to make. The fact that the sort of asymmetries between the two sides make it interesting. So the island influence here, it's permanent for the Chinese, but not permanent for the U.S. But it's cheaper for the U.S. to build for the most part. But they also count towards the country they're attached to. So there's this like really big jockeying of position. And it turns out in this game, I actually won. I had 3 points at the end because I invested so heavily into CR actions on these islands. And when we did the final scoring, of which there are 7 scoring cards, that ended up pushing me over the edge. I was actually losing. It was actually 1 point in favor of the U.S. going into that final scoring card. I like that the scoring cards are not part of the deck. Like, you can see where they are at any time and choose to score the cards based on the scoring condition on a card that you use. There are 4 dimensions to a card rather than 2. It's just not only ops or event, it's also, do you want to play the discard pile or do you want to score a specific region on the board? So there's a lot of, with more uses for each card, there's a lot more thinking you have to do about how you use those cards efficiently. I like the idea that political warfare is a resource suck that you can then use and turn into being able to lock down any one of these countries to prevent your opponent from playing there and most likely score points for it. And it plays in like 30 minutes, which is really cool. It's a really interesting take on this style of game, and I could definitely see how additional Chrome could model different geographic regions in the world or even different historical eras. I mean, I think about things like the India trade in the 18th century would be an interesting implication of this between the French and the British trying to, gain control of Indian shipping lanes. But it's a really cool, interesting game. For 30 minutes, definitely had fun with it and would play it again. Okay, we're downstairs now after lunch. Let's take a look at what's being played in this room, which I didn't even know was down here. Got a game of John Company, 2nd edition over here.
So you got a lot of money.
A lot of negotiations. The chairman has a lot of shares in the company.
This area.
You can get another regiment.
Talking about what to do in India. Got Salerno 43 set up here. Looks like haven't started playing yet. Looks like the general start of the game. Got Army Group Center, big game. All 4 maps on the table. This obviously the reprint from GMT. Army Group Center, 1941. There's the front. We've got a second table over here for all the units coming in. A lot of World War II stuff. Game of Churchill happening here.
Troy will always get to follow with his firing.
Looks like he's teaching it. Tactical challenge. It's like a prototype.
Well, I cannot go to here.
Interesting.
I can't even go to there.
It's like a World War II game. There's some info on it. Looks like a playtest copy.
This comes up to bat, and it will be near you. The Russians.
I could take.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Just doing some video on the convention.
I love it.
Is this a prototype?
Prototype.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Good word.
What's the geography I'm looking at here?
Oh, it's
England, Europe, World War II.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Yep. I see the Italy, Spain. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Italy.
Yeah.
Spain, England,
Nice.
North Africa. We were just doing a little scenario down here just for fun, and it's we have player aids. We don't really have a rule book, so it's we use these
Oh yeah.
4 phases. I think that's them in order. I'll put it, and that's basically what drives the game.
Okay. So there's an events phase.
Common play where you both play at once.
Okay.
Then the regular, it's called ordered play because you roll to see who goes first.
Okay.
You don't know each turn.
So it's like an initiative kind of.
Yeah, like
Exactly,
initiative.
yeah.
And then the usual final phase.
Kind of clean up.
Okay.
And take care of things.
So it's all of Europe, World War II.
You got it.
And
Awesome.
there's 26 country cards.
Okay.
36. And then we have these event cards for every year.
Okay. And so they change based as the game goes along. Different
Yeah,
events.
you change a year, and they got a really interesting story we've researched.
Okay.
And then a result at the bottom.
Awesome.
This one's the exploding rat.
Don't want to be standing around when that happens. Awesome.
Very good.
Thank you. Yeah. Tank leader. Taking some video of what people are playing. Nice. Tank leader. Some older stuff. Here we got Napoleon's Triumph getting set up. Oh yeah. It's a game I have bounced off of pretty hard every time I've tried to play it, but
It took me 5 bounce offs.
5 the 6 times the charm is what you're saying.
It is.
Yeah, I love the map. It's so beautiful. The pieces, like it's so cool.
And it's only like an 8-page rulebook.
I know, but it is the densest 8-page rulebook of any game I have ever played.
Totally is.
Awesome. We got Plains Indian Wars over here. Saw this at a GMT video. It's the Academy Games Birth of system. Game of PQ-17 maybe getting going. We got Stalin's Wars, a classic here. Getting played. A lot of World War II down here. What's this? This is Frontier Wars. I'm unfamiliar. Draco Ideas. Looks like a tactical World War II cards. Interesting. Forged in Steel. Nice.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Would you like to play? We've got some spots open if you're interested.
Oh yeah. Let me see what me and my friend are gonna do. He and I have some. Well, I don't know if we have plans, but he just got here, so
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, if we're into it,
We've got a couple if you're interested.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Got Hands in the Sea over here. This is the A Few Acres of Snow system. Apply. Oh, they're using the side of the map that I never used. That's interesting. This is the Few Acres of Snow system applied to the Second Punic War. Really fun game. Looks like Carthage is doing pretty good on this one. Sicily is contested. More Hands in the Sea over here. 2 games of Hands in the Sea. Interesting. Wonder if they're here doing tests. And Star Wars Rebellion.
And then the squares are worth 3.
Has the Rebel base been found?
And we haven't even started.
Oh, you're just setting up. Okay, got it. So the answer is no.
So the answer would be no.
No, okay. They're out there somewhere. All right, here we are. We just played through a prototype. We played through Epipolae, which is the Sicilian expedition against Syracuse by the Athenians. 415 BC to 413 BC. We just played the full year of 415 BC. I took the Syracusan/Spartans and I got my ass handed to me. The Athenians just rampant all over the island. This is a Levian campaign game. You can see the small footprint, 17 by 11 map, which is pretty nice. It's the first Levian campaign game that's going to be in the ancient period, which is pretty cool, stretching the system to different epoch. And it's a very compact design. It's very playable. The Syracusan/Spartan player has, I think, 3 lords in the game. The Athenian player has up to 4, so it's a very small number of units and armies you have to worry about. Here are some of the prototype components. We've got some skirmishers, some peltists. We've got some hoplites. We've got some elite triremes here. You see the Athenian lords, they've got some regular triremes. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on in this design, but it's very playable. It plays very quickly. Each of the seasons is a small number of cards, and it sort of seamlessly smooths out some of the more complex Levian campaign stuff. What I really like is, in addition to the ravaging and the conquering and whatnot, you've also got diplomatic control, which you can try and persuade the inhabitants of the city to join your side and make the city friendly. And while it is worth less victory points than outright conquering, it is a path to victory, as my Athenian opponent decided he was going to go fully peaceful diplomacy on the island, and he managed to get control of a lot of different spaces by using diplomacy, basically. I did, at one point, managed to take Naxos away from the Athenians early, and I thought that was going to pay off, but they were very resentful that I ravaged their land, and so they joined the Athenians when he came calling. It's really cool. I like the prototype components. The art is really awesome as well on this map, and it's actually mounted. Like, he did an amazing job like putting this prototype together. Alcibiades obviously is in the game. What's cool is like the event cards will put these markers down, and when they reach 4, Alcibiades gets recalled, as he did historically, and that triggers some of the other lords coming into the game, the strategoi as they are in this one, since we're talking about 5th century Greece, 4th century? 5th century. 5th century BC. Yeah, okay, perfect. So there you go. That's a quick look at this, which is currently under design and development, and I look forward to seeing how this one evolves. Kind of reminds me of Henry in terms of the footprint and the sort of like scope of what's going on here, and I think it's if you've never played Levian Campaign before, this is a really excellent one to check out if you want to learn some of the core systems without being overwhelmed by pieces and area. All right, it's after dinner. We're going to take a walk around and see what's going on in the lower room here. Lots of games happening. That Rebellion game is cleaning up. Streetcar Suburb again. Again, it's all over the place. 1714 Case of the Catalans. This is a rare game.
Paid me. Then I would probably consider.
This is
Wow.
This is about Spanish Succession, right?
Yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah, I've never played. I've always wanted to. It's awesome. Brotherhood and Unity. Such a good game. We were just talking about this at dinner about how good Brotherhood and Unity is. Except for the Serbian player who has a really tough time of it in the late part of the game. Got Virgin Queen being set up here. Normandy beginning at the end. This is Frontier Wars.
We'll try a different.
Got Stalin's War still going. Small footprint on this game. It's interesting.
Many things I am not a child.
War of the Ring.
Move or recruit.
Playing 3 players or 4 players?
2.
2 players, okay. You're just watching. That's a sweet Orthanc.
Thank you.
So what do you think about
Salerno still set up. Barbarossa. Oh, they've made a lot of progress over here. Let's take a look. Monster game. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Yeah, oh yeah. The Germans have expanded quite a bit since I walked by.
Big units, armies in front, German armies, Russian front infantry.
What else? Churchill's still set up. Wonder if they're playing the whole thing. Got some commands and colors. Ancients over here. That's awesome. Nice to see that being played. B-29 Super Fortress. This is a Legion war game. I haven't seen this on the table before. Yeah, so this is what's going on. I don't know what we're going to play right now, but we're going to get it started.